Welcome to Global Car Mechanic. Today we're going to be replacing an alternator on a V6 Honda Accord. This specific one here is 2004, but it'll apply from 2004 to 2007. Let's get to it. Alright, tools needed for the job are going to be a 3/8 ratchet, 10mm socket, 14mm, and a 12, an extension, flathead, a 14mm wrench, and something to give you leverage such as this 19mm, because this is going to be used for pulling back the belt tensioner so we can get the belt off the alternator. Okay, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery terminal. This one has aftermarket terminals. Normally it should be a 10mm socket, but in this case we're going to use a 1/2 inch. And we're disconnecting the negative terminal. Just put it to the side. Now we're going to go off to the alternator now. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and tackle the belt tensioner for the serpentine belt, because we're going to have to take the belt off. The bolt for that is going to be right here, and it's a 14mm wrench. So we're going to go ahead and just put a 14 on there. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and go ahead and put this on there. It can be a little difficult. And then we're going to get a second wrench here for leverage. Just lock it in there. And then you're going to pull towards you. Just keep pulling. And you'll see the belt loosen up. We'll go ahead and slide it off the alternator. And then we're going to let the tensioner go. And then we'll just get the belt out of the way slightly. Try not to move it too much so we can still keep it on track, but more than likely we'll have to realign it. So right at the alternator, we're going to go ahead and take this rubber boot off and access this 12mm nut to remove this wire. And then there's going to be a connector right here that we're also going to go ahead and remove by squeezing. So let's go ahead and get the nut off first. Try not to drop it. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and take this rubber boot off the connector, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to actually unclip it. Alright, you'll see that this is what we need to pinch, so we're going to go ahead and pinch that and try to pull the wire out at the same time. Okay, might also help to see if we can pry it. Wire, but I don't think that's going to be possible. There we go. I just used the flathead to push on the tab right here, and then pull the connector outward. So now that we got this disconnected, just pull out the wire for the terminal on the alternator, and then we're going to go ahead and unbolt this guy right here. It's 12, I believe it's a 10mm bolt. So we're going to go ahead and knock that off too. Alright, this is the 10mm. Just go ahead and unbolt it. That should allow us to shift the harness out of the way for now. Now we're going to go ahead and tackle the alternator. Alright, so on the alternator you're going to have two 12mm screws or nuts on the top, or bolts. It's going to be this one right here, and there's going to be one hiding under there. Right there, you can kind of see it in the crack. This guy right here. So we're going to go ahead and undo those. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we should have a 14 at the bottom. Alright, on the bottom of the alternator, there's going to be this 14mm bolt. We're going to go ahead and use a 14mm socket on that. It's probably going to be tight, so it's good to have some leverage if you can. Okay, got the 14mm bolt out. Now we're going to try and figure out how to route this out. Might be a little difficult. We may also have to pull the power steering reservoir out of the way, but we're going to try and see if we can avoid that. I'm going to go ahead and take off this cover right here. Okay, got the alternator out. The reason why we're replacing it is because it's got a crack right in there, and the customer is concerned that this is going to get worse. So we're going to go ahead and get the new alternator. Alright, this is the replacement. It's a Denso product. Got it from Rock Auto. Go ahead and put that in now. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and try to wiggle it onto the mounting bracket here. This is where it can get a little bit difficult. You're going to have to kind of wedge it in there, but also match up the holes here. So we're going to go ahead and try that out. Good idea to get the bolt and kind of put it in the hole, so once you get it lined up, you can just force it right in. Looks like we got the bolt in. I'm going to leave it loose, and we're going to go ahead and put this bracket back in there. It's going to go back on like that. now we're going to put the hidden 12mm on here as well. And you don't need to go crazy tight on this either. Now we're going to go ahead and tackle the 14 down there. Okay, now that it's tightened up, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put the belt on first so we can get that hard part out of the way. The wiring is a lot easier. Now we're going to go ahead and try to get the tensioner loosened up. Of course, always make sure your belts are all routed properly on the pulleys. Okay. Everything is routed properly. Now let's go ahead and hook up the wiring. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the connector first. Put the boot back over it. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the terminal on. And I'm gonna reuse the old OEM Honda 12mm nut because mine didn't come with one, and I'd rather use the OEM parts anyways. You don't need to go crazy tight on it either. Let's put the rubber boot back on. They don't really always go on very easily. You just gotta fight it, which like what I'm doing, unfortunately. Okay, it's on now. We're gonna put the 10mm bolt that was there to hold the harness in place. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put the beauty cover on. Very simple, just line it up. And then just twist until you feel it click. Click. Now it's in place. We're going to go ahead and hook up the battery now. And that's it.